Hey everyone, welcome. Today we are going to talk about onboarding developers to Web3. And we have, just organizations here, 3 organizations that is educating developers around the world. So it will be hopefully a fun panel with different views. And so let's start with introducing ourselves. Maybe Phil, you can start and then we can go from there.
Yeah, sounds good. And yeah, thanks very much for moderating, Gulshan, and it's a pleasure to be on here with you, Jeff, as well. So, brief background on me. I'm Phil. I'm the co-founder of EZA. Founded EZA almost about 4 years ago now. Today, we're one of the biggest Web3 education apps. And really, you can think of us like Duolingo for blockchain. So, we're a mobile app. You can check it out on iOS or Android while you're listening to this to get a feel for what it looks like. But our main goal is to lower the barrier to entry for developers coming into Web3, and our mission ultimately is to bring 1 billion developers into Web3 as well. Brief background on me, first got into the space in about 2013 through Bitcoin mining, and then was doing a huge amount of software engineering. Ended up reading law at university, so qualified as an attorney in New York, but then came back and saw the light again, came back and founded EZA after that. So that's a brief history on myself. Grew up in the UK, did my undergrad at Cambridge, and then founded EZA together with my brother, fun fact, who is now my co-founder as well. So that's, I guess, the quick sort of 1 minute on EZA and the EZA app. But I know that Jeff has a lot more of a storied experience in this space than even me.
Thanks, Phil. I'm Jeff. I am a co-founder of Web3 Builders Alliance. Got into the space a few years back. I spent 30 years as an educator, teaching, and as a school administrator in private schools here in the States. And after the pandemic and some health things, decided I needed a new chapter, and fortunately fell into learning about blockchain and smart contracts. Got together with a group of people and launched what at the time was the Terra Builders Alliance, when Terra was booming. The good old days. And the idea was that we needed to find a way to upskill, train real senior professional level developers because they were hiring people that were not qualified and couldn't do the work. So that was the seed of what we did. We eventually went Cosmos-wide after Terra crashed, and then moved into Solana and now work on Solana and Sui. We specialize in Rust-based smart contract development. We run a cohort model, live model, which is like a master's uni style project-based cohort where developers have to ship to DevNet in order to graduate, and then we have additional tracks after that where they continue to develop their skills and where they continue to find opportunities to become sustainable professionals in the space.
Awesome, great summaries. Hey everyone, I'm Gülcan. I'm the co-founder of Ryzen. We also onboard Web2 developers into Web3 like my friends here. And I guess we all have somehow different models, so it will be good to talk about those models today. But how I entered the Web3 world is I have been always very passionate about education, and back in 2016 we started a non-profit in Turkey, where I am from, to address youth unemployment by upskilling young people for tech skills. And we partner with more than 200 enterprises in Turkey to open boot camps and train people in skills that these companies were looking for. So the model was like the companies paying for all these trainings we are doing, and they were hiring in cohorts from our boot camps. So obviously it became a huge thing, and we had around 200,000 developers from Turkey enrolling in our website to learn all these skills and then get jobs. And around 2022, they started asking us more about blockchain technology, and they wanted to be a part of the global workforce instead of just finding jobs in the country. That's how we entered the Web3 world, and we publish online courses. They are reached by people all over the world now, but at the same time, we believe a lot in local communities. So we are very active in Turkey, India, and recently started some work in Nigeria, Nepal, Pakistan, and Kenya. So that is the story. And right now, there are more than 90,000 people on our platform taking the courses and joining other IRL events and trainings. So I would like to, just discover a little bit about different models that we use in educating developers. I think because like all three of us touch the journey of developers from like different levels, it would be good to talk about it because we see a lot of education initiatives in Web3, and I don't think all of them are very effective. So it may be good for us to talk about what we are working on, what we believe in our models, and then we will come to what doesn't work as well. So let's start with what kind of models do you use, Phil, for example, at ETHDenver?
Yeah, it makes sense, I guess, for us to start because you can think of us as being really like a top of the funnel in the sense that our big focus is on making Web3 very, very, very accessible. And so just like if you look at Duolingo compared to Rosetta Stone, right? Does anybody remember Rosetta Stone or that language learning platform? We've got a couple of people, but more people are probably familiar with Duolingo. I think Duolingo is used by, pretty much everybody who's trying to learn a language today. Whereas with Rosetta Stone, you had to sit down at your laptop and actually install this software, put on a headset, start trying to learn a language that way. With Duolingo, it was in your pocket on a device that you were always with, which was your phone. And we're doing exactly the same thing for Web3. We're bringing all these developers into Web3 by actually making it very, very easy. And so, to come to your question, Gulsham, about the method, it's really by trying to make it easy for people to get started and at the end of the day, inspiring them. So if you can make, for example, learning about Sui or Solana or any one of these other blockchains very, very easy, that's when you can get developers excited about it, and that's when we can all get excited about what this technology actually involves, as opposed to getting bored by, for example, setting up the CLI on your computer or the command line interface. And so this is really where we begin with developers, and then what we do is, of course, we nurture those people and really try to focus on attracting the best founders and entrepreneurs. So over the past couple of months, we've had founders who are funded by A16Z, gone through Y Combinator, got another batch going through the next A16Z crypto startup school too. So, really, really smart people, and that's really what we focus on, just empowering people to learn about this new growing industry, and then at the end of the day, providing them with those connections and opportunities also to actually learn and take their skills to the next level. So that's really our approach and our method. At the end of the day, it boils down to the same approach that Duolingo took to language learning, that we are taking to Web3 learning. And of course, we work with awesome partners that we have here as well in order to get people a little bit further down that journey in terms of maybe they need a little bit of help actually going to the next level, learning a little bit more in depth as well about that actual ecosystem as well.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, I'm at the other end of the spectrum. And really what we want to do is we want to find the people that want to do this professionally, and so we treat them like that, from day one. It is, where there's a lot of programs where it's learning a lot of theory, or copy and pasting a lot of code, or forking things over and launching it. Those are all incredibly valuable because it lets people continue to explore. We definitely target the people that want to try to make it a sustainable lifestyle being a Web3 professional developer. Our entrance prerequisite is actually writing the code that's underneath the CLI to engage with the blockchain. So it's doable, but you got to work hard. A lot of our course, which is live remote, is about challenging people and challenging their existing thinking on what's possible. Every one of our builders builds a unique proof of concept during the course, and we let them pick just about anything they want. They just can't pick something that's not a viable product market fit, because we want them to think that this is real. We want them to work hard like this is real, because it is easy to pick up Easy A and put it in their hands, but by the time people get to us, the last thing they want is easy, because they want to work hard to be able to get to the next level. And so we let them do that. We challenge them. And we encouraged them to not just take what they're given and accept it, because if that was the way that the people who built blockchain thought, we wouldn't be sitting here today. We've got to challenge, the thinking on how all of this works every day, and we do. We need to find new solutions to new problems every day, and we can't be afraid of doing that. And that's really, that's really what drives us every day, is kind of this fearlessness of, we're going to try it. We always say, we don't say no. We say, how do you plan on doing that? Okay, let's get rolling. And the other thing is, just about how hard or easy something is. It's easy to get started, but I had someone in Discord yesterday say, I want to build my own protocol. How easy is it? Well, it's not easy. It's hard. People go to school for 4, 6, 8 years to learn how to be developers. It's not easy, but it's doable if that's what you want to do and you're willing to put the work in. So those are the kinds of people that come to us. We get about 150 applicants every cohort, and about 60 of them qualify, and about 20 of them graduate. Those 20, they're ready. They're ready to roll. The other 40, half of them come back and do another cohort because they know that with one more, they can get there.
Yeah, it's great. I think so. Just to emphasize the numbers here as well. At ETHDenver, you are dealing with maybe 10,000 people or something taking one course, right? When you launch?
More, yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
more.
Exactly.
Okay, great. And you are saying like 150 people. So you are really selecting like really advanced developers to your
yeah,
course.
and really, look, people are like, well, how much background do I need? You need to have 2 of the following 3. You need to be incredibly hardworking and ambitious. You need to know a good amount about blockchain and how smart contracts work, or you need to have a programming background. If you have any 2 of those 3, you could do well with us.
Nice, that's great. So yeah, I want to just emphasize these differences, like where we are touching the lives of people. For Ryzen, we are in the middle of these 2 models actually. So we, as I said, we believe in a lot about local activation because of both our DNAs as founders. I'm big in like community building and grassroots momentum building, movement building. So what we do is like we build courses, but they are online for free. Anybody can take it from the website anytime. But most of the time, people don't finish those courses. I'm sure all of us experience that, go to an online course and don't finish it. So what we do is like we organize like local workshops, boot camps, or mini hackathons. And what we do is like we ask people to complete some part of the course to come to those events. And then we bring people together as a cohort and help them finish the rest of the course and build their first smart contract or build their first decentralized application. And then from these people, we handpick the ones that are really interested to build more, and we keep supporting them through grants, bounties, or programs like Web3 Builder Alliance. We refer really like promising people, interested people to those programs. And the end goal is, just to have enough people at the end who build like real products. But we are mostly in the middle of that journey of the developers. So just I wanted to emphasize there are different ways to onboard developers, and there's not one size fits all, I guess. So here I want to jump into the question of what doesn't work when we are onboarding developers, do you think? Because like for me, after I switched from Web 2 trainings to Web 3, I have seen a lot of things fail. And we have, just a lot of different experiences. I'm wondering, like, if we become totally honest, what do you think that is not very effective when we are onboarding developers?
Yeah, that's a great question. I'd say from my personal experience, just in terms of my background, before ETHDenver, we co-founded 2 marketplace startups. And I think that, looking at that experience and what we found there is that when you're a developer and or even just an everyday consumer learning about something new or building a new product, there isn't really a one-size-fits-all. I think that people need to have options. They need to have different ways that they can explore. There isn't just one single way of learning. I think for ETHDenver, that's really what we've tried to do. And allow them to have that flexibility that they can do it anywhere at any point in time. And I think that that's where it fits really at the in terms of capturing developers' attention. I think that that's the most important thing for me. I wouldn't necessarily focus too much on the on what doesn't work. I'm more focused on like just opening it up to lots of different people. I think that maybe some stuff doesn't work for certain types of developers, other stuff doesn't work for others, and I think it's just giving developers maybe that opportunity rather than saying, you know what, you can only learn about it by going to the docs, and you just have to read those, and then you have to go and then you have to go and do an example dApp, for example, that's already been laid out there for you and follow X number of steps. I think that it's really just about creating a wide canvas so that developers can learn and then also start to engage more deeply with the material. I think that's my approach to it.
Yeah, I mean, I think that echoing the idea that both Guljan and Phil have mentioned, one size doesn't fit all. I think one of the things that doesn't work is assuming that the persona of everybody that comes to you is the same. There's going to be more differences in the persona in the character of the people coming than there's going to be similarities. So focusing on the things that are in common across those people. Well, they're here, so they've already taken the first step. Now it's not as much our job to get them here as it is to retain them, and retention is huge. And creating sticky opportunities is something we talk about a lot. What doesn't work? Promising the moon when you can't. Telling people that, hey, if you do this course, I'm going to get you a Web3 job making 6 figures. That's not how it really works in Web3 at the moment. I mean, 78 to 80% of the jobs that people are doing as, quote, professional Web3 developers is gig-based work. It's freelance work. Very few and far between are the big protocols that are paying, 6-figure salaries to developers. That is not the norm. And being really truthful and honest about how the efforts are going to manifest into a sustainable livelihood. You got to be able to have that conversation with people when they get to us and they're like, am I going to get a job off this? Or am I going to get a grant for my project? Or am I going to get investment? You can't promise stuff. You got to be honest about how it works, what is within the locus of control of the builder to, get as close to making it happen as what's in their control. That's what you got to do. False promises are going to do much more to turn people off and spread bad narrative about working professionally in this space. The other side of it for retention-wise is, you got people that want to build an NFT project because they want to get a mint and make a bunch of money. Well, that's great, but you have to have people building sustainable developer economy projects as well, things that can get developers paid in any market conditions. So what doesn't work is making promises that you can't keep or make happen for people. And what doesn't work is assuming that everybody's the same.
Yeah, I think great points. I will add 3 things to this because I think a lot of things don't work when onboarding developers in Web3 in our experience. The first thing is that I think connected to what you are saying, Jeff, a lot of developers, like Web2 developers, are actually coming into Web3 to build a career or to use the skills they use here in their daily jobs. So we actually did a survey with 26,000 developers on our platform. Only 6% of them said that they want to build a startup or a product in Web3. Most of them said that I want to build a career here, either like find a job in Web3 or I want to use the skills I learned here in my daily job, my 9-to-5 job. And when we look at a lot of Web3 programs for developers, they are all like, just we will give you tons of money to build a startup. We will give you tons of money to build a product. We are looking for founders. But let's be realistic. We are talking about only 6% of people who want to build a startup. We are all startup founders here. I know how hard it is. Like if you gave me a chance again, I don't know if I would start Rising or another company. It is like super painful, like to build a team, to build a product that would people use. So building a startup is not for everyone. And so I think that expectation gap is a big problem when onboarding developers. That's the first thing in my experience. The second thing is that we have seen in Electric Capital report as well, 98% of developers that joined Web3 left the field in like 1 year later. So we are talking about 98% of people that is building a product today is gonna leave. So when we think about why these people leave, obviously there are a lot of reasons. One of them is lack of job opportunities in Web3 right now. But another thing in my experience is like lack of like local communities that people find. We were talking with Jeff, like some of the like really talented developers from Turkey. They are like, they have this lack of self-confidence about like language skills, for example, when they engage in a global community. So I think like when we have more local communities in countries, people feel more welcome in this space rather than just going and hanging out in a global Discord channel. So that is another thing I think we need to be careful about when going into especially developing countries where tons of people are more interested in crypto. Because like there is definitely a correlation between interest of crypto and inflation and economic problems in countries. You know, why Turkey is one of the top 10 countries in the world using crypto, because we have a lot of economic problems in the country. It means a lot of unemployment as well, which means people are looking for job opportunities or income opportunities in the field. I would say like these things are definitely like some things that don't work right now in the industry. And the final thing I would say is like the expectation setting is super important. We talk with a lot of different protocols. And when like protocols come to us like, hey, we want to see like great products out of these education programs, we have to say like, it is probably not gonna work. Like we are not gonna see a lot of like great products here, but we will have people who have the skills that can help people, founders who will build these companies. So I think that expectation setting is also very important in Web3. And as you said, like, let's be honest, not everybody is gonna find jobs out of these programs, but let's create a workforce that have these skills in Web3. So, okay, after saying all these things, I wanna also ask, like, in your experience, what is the secret sauce of your program? What do you love the most about onboarding developers? Like, what is working the best in your experience?
Oh, yeah, I mean, I love everything that we do at ETHDenver. I think that this, though, is one of the most valuable and also most exciting parts. What I love is that because of where we are in terms of, we sit at the stage of developers where our job is to inspire and our job is to show developers the opportunities that are available. And that's why I find this so exciting. What I love doing most is actually, we have some of Web3's biggest social media accounts. So if you go on TikTok or Instagram, you'll see us. We have about 320,000 followers on Instagram. We have about 415,000 on TikTok. We have billions and billions of views across platforms as well. So that is what I actually really, really enjoy. It's crafting a narrative and also showing developers what they can do, showing them their journey. For example, recently I just hosted another podcast together with a guy called Ryan Serhant, who you may know of. He's the guy on TikTok or Instagram who basically is, pretty much America's most famous real estate broker. And he was talking about the opportunities that are available for people who are entrepreneurs, but also for people in Web3. And talking a little about the EZA app. He's actually got a Netflix show coming up, which you should check out. Basically, what I love crafting this story and also telling the story of different protocols. If you check out what we've done together with Sui, for example, we tell the story of the Fantastic Five, who are the founders behind it. And we also tell the story about Facebook's, or rather Meta nowadays, their failed project, which was Diem, and that then gave rise to Aptos and Sui as well. So I would say, to take it back, what I really, really love is actually being active on social media. I love it, and I love telling stories about different entrepreneurs, their paths into it, because we really focus on the founders side of it. And I think people love hearing stories about people who are very similar to them, who are a couple of steps ahead of them, but they can see their lives actually reflected in the journey that they took ahead of them. So I think it's that, telling a story about other people who are similar to them, and also I just love being active on social media.
You are are very good at it.
Yes, you are very good at it. I, on the other hand, depends on who you ask. Secret sauce and what I love. I mean, I think our secret sauce is we are small by design, and we are very people-centric. We get to know our people really, really well, which allows us to support them not only while they're in our course, but as a startup that up until 4 or 5 months ago, it was just the core 4 of us that were running this thing for a couple years through the bear market. We have now hired 7 of our graduates to be as part of our team. So the satisfaction of educating and working with people and working really hard and helping them over the times where they didn't think they could do it, or they didn't think it was a good idea, or they didn't think they could be professionals in Web3, to offering them a job and being able to pay them a good salary and get them involved. That's part of it. That's super satisfying. My education roots are embedded in that. The other secret sauce is, we have a mindset of, as long as you adhere to responsible stewardship of the blockchain, we could do anything we want. So let's build cool stuff. I mean, if you have a cool idea, let's build it. We've got some super innovative stuff that have come out of our cohorts. We've got projects that the foundations that ask us to build things especially for them are innovative, don't exist anywhere yet. That other people said you can't do that, and we're doing it. That's incredible. I mean, it's fun. It's the right that we've been given to be responsible about doing it the right way, doing it safe and secure, doing it in a way that is going to fuel adoption, help the unbanked get banked, help people without governance opportunities be able to have transparent governance locally, being able to have global impact from a very small group of people, and being very, very close with the people that you work with on a personal level. I mean, that's, I'm an old guy. This is a dream come true in a second career to be able to do this. So, and I think that we're not everybody's cup of tea. I'm not everybody's cup of tea. But for the people that stick around, that feels really good.
Yeah, Jeff knows everyone's by name, right? All your students. Yeah, he's amazing. Yeah, for us, I think what is working the best is always like trying to find these opportunities, either job opportunities or income generating opportunities for our students is the best part of our work. And I think it motivates our students a lot too. It is again in parallel with what you guys are saying, I think. So some of the things that makes my day is like, just when some of our students find a job at one of the, just protocols that we are working with, or like some of the startups in their ecosystem, that's the best thing. Or we also hire from our graduates. So we hire 2 people full-time, and some of them are our teaching assistants as well. So that is an amazing thing as well. And another thing is like when we give people some skills that they can put into their resume, and that would help them find a job or like, just have an income opportunity, especially if you are from a developing country, that is amazing. And I was so proud when our graduates in Nepal, Pakistan, Kenya, and Nigeria started boot camps in these countries by themselves. Like they came to us, they said, I wanna just do this. I wanna increase this impact of Ryzen in these countries. So that is the best thing, because it is not just empowering them, but also, just giving them a skill to put into their resume and find a job. I know that like in these kinds of Web3 conferences, I see that some people are like, I have seen comments like a good developer wouldn't apply to a job through LinkedIn because they are already a good developer, they will be discovered. I totally disagree with this statement about like, it is like excluding 99.8% of developers in the world. So I think if we want to be onboarding more Web2 developers into Web3, we should be more like realistic about how the Web2 world dynamics work. And a lot of people are on LinkedIn, yes, that's the truth. Anyways, so I want to talk about a very sensitive topic now, because I thought that we should talk about it. About hackathons. So we have seen a lot of hackathons, and we keep seeing a lot of hackathons that is like providing huge prize pools. So let's talk about the effectiveness of these, because I have started to see some conversations in the industry about the effectiveness of these, like really, you know, big hackathons. Just wondering, what is your experience with these hackathons?
Well, we're very involved in the Solana hackathons, and they have really massive prize pools. I would say that the prize pools are great. I mean, making them as big as possible can, in some ways, have the biggest awareness possible, because when people see that there's $1 million up for grabs in a hackathon, they're like, whoa, how do I actually get involved in that? And I think at the end of the day, it just gets more eyeballs on it. I mean, of course, you can do some analysis on, is it cost effective to be giving away $1 million, you know, relative to maybe the number of builders that you get. I think at a certain point, of course, you know, there is a declining efficiency in the sort of capital spend of needing to have a massive, massive prize pool. But I quite like it when I see $1 million on a hackathon. And I think at the same time, it's about what your goals are. I think if you have like a huge prize pool, you can also structure it so that maybe that is also milestone-based grant funding as opposed to just being given to people. I think we've seen with Solana that these big hackathon prize pools are extremely effective. But I think that, you know, there's also room for other people to experiment with different size of prize pools too. Personally, I like the way that Solana's done it with the hackathons. I think that they've had, you know, great success, and obviously working on the global hackathons together, we've seen that they've done really, really well.
Yeah, I mean, on a personal and organizational level, I do have mixed feelings, and I'll share why. You know, last hackathon we were involved with, we shipped 32 projects, 27 made the top 150, and 9 of them either won or got honorable mention from less than 40 builders. If WBA was a country, we would have shipped more projects to this hackathon than any single country in the world. That's great. It's exciting. Hackathon cohorts hit different. The energy's different. It's amazing. Where I struggle is increasingly the hackathons are less about the technology and the tech skills of the builders and more about how well someone can pitch an idea. And they're more pitch competition, which for what we do is it doesn't align. And we believe very strongly in what we do. So we're not going to change that just to try to win a hackathon, because we don't think that that serves our builders and the people that we work hard for them and they work hard for us. You know, the hard part there is people that work really hard and build something really cool and innovative, but have a subpar pitch deck are losing opportunity to people who can't do any programming but have a great pitch deck. And I think that misalignment, that is counter to what hackathons were intended to be. But look, if it's a pitch competition, let's call it that. Let's not call it a hackathon.
Yeah, it's fair. Yeah, I have mixed feelings towards hackathons too. Just one difference I realize in Web2 hackathons we have done versus Web3 hackathons I see is like, in Web2 hackathons, just we are struggling with how to select the winner here. There are so many good projects coming up. And in Web3 hackathons, it's like, they are so bad. Let's select a winner that is like not so bad, like it is like the quality of projects coming out of these hackathons, I think questionable if it is not done well. I mean, there are really some great global hackathons like Solana is doing, I think like one of the best ones I have seen as well, but like if it is not done well, I have seen that like the same teams collecting prizes from several different hackathons by just converting that project to different chains as well. So that is something that bugs me a lot lately, to see the same projects, same teams getting prizes again and again. I don't think that is what we intend to do. So just, I wanted to ask this question so that, we question more when we are investing this much into these hackathons. But thank you so much for joining. I hope that this was kind of a a fun and an informative session. I really enjoyed listening to you guys.
Same
Thank
here.
You.
Thank you very much, Gulshan
Always.
and Jeff. And
Two of
thanks
my
everybody
favorite
for coming as well.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, y'all.
Thank you.